People make the magic happen, so here's how to recruit well. Recruiting the right people could really make or break your business, so it's vital you take care over the process and get each stage right. We'll start with the assumption that you have a suitably designed job role and a written description of what the job entails. And from there, you should identify the core competencies, behaviours and skills that an individual would need to undertake that job effectively. Be careful not to list things that are unnecessary, particularly criteria that may directly or indirectly discriminate against certain groups of people, such as UK-only qualifications or length of recent experience that might rule out someone returning from a career break. Try and get a good balance between technical experience, ability and softer skills such as communication. These competencies should then form the basis of your selection process and will hopefully enable unsuitable candidates to rule themselves out. If you're advertising the role or using a third party to help you recruit, they'll make up a core part of any advertisement or communication with candidates. So think carefully about where you market your job. Traditional advertising is likely to only reach those candidates who are actively looking for their next role. So be more creative in ensuring your job gets in front of suitable candidates that weren't necessarily looking. Use social media or connect with university placement teams, for example. Once you have your pool of interested applicants, then you need to go through a process of reducing them to a shortlist that's feasible to interview or test. Here's where you'll need to first measure their applications or CVs against your competencies to root out any that don't meet the core criteria. Take care to be consistent and don't let any personal bias influence your decision. If necessary, due to the volume of applicants, you could use telephone interviewing to assess certain core criteria and help you reduce the number down to a manageable list to meet. Again, make sure you're consistent with your approach. A face-to-face selection interview is still the most common method of recruiting, and you should watch our separate soundbite to learn more about how to conduct a good interview. Dependent on the job, you might also want to consider some form of testing, whether that's the ability and aptitude or personality testing. There are a lot of tools available, and make sure you use the one that's relevant to the competencies you're looking for, and that it's administered fairly and properly. For more complex roles, you might want to consider using an assessment centre, which might cover a mix of tests, interviews, and presentations. Your final decision on who to select should be based on the agreed criteria for the role. So make sure that you communicate effectively with other unsuccessful candidates in order to maintain the reputation of the business too. And don't forget to make any job offer conditional upon references and any other due diligence that is right for the job and the business.